Our guest right now would love for us to be telling you that it is he, Larry Hogan. He is the Republican nominee for governor, and thank you for joining us, Mr. Hogan.
Well, good morning, guys. I was getting all pumped up with that final countdown.
Yeah, this is it. You're in your final stretch here, and I don't know, when you start seeing ads on television that sound like this.
Who is Larry Hogan?
Who is Larry Hogan? With that creepy Halloween music in the background. Yeah,
right.
Exactly. I mean, listen to the ominous.
Whoa.
Who is Larry Hogan? Take a closer look.
Yeah, let's take a closer look at you, Larry Hogan, because Anthony Brown seems to think that you are pretty much this side of Satan. Here's a part of it.
Hogan opposes a woman's right to choose. He wants to ban abortions, even in cases of rape and incest.
Larry Hogan, how dare you even show your face here on WMAL? What do you have to say to that?
We're joking about it, and it's almost comical because they're so false. And these commercials, he's run 5 television commercials with millions of dollars in special interest money, and every one of them is 100% false, just filled with complete lies. I mean, his campaign is really getting desperate. He expected a coronation, but instead we're in a dead heat. We're in a statistical tie in this race for governor, and Anthony Brown unable to talk about the issues that people are focused on in Maryland, about our economic issues and the problem that we've raised so many taxes and lost so many businesses and jobs.
Well, when they raise the war on women issue, you know that they're starting to see it in their rearview mirror there, or as you say, right in the car next to them in the lane. So address this. What basis does he have to make this claim that you oppose a woman's right to choose? You're going to outlaw abortion in Maryland, even in the case of rape and incest.
Well, it's an absolute lie. He has no basis whatsoever, and I held a press conference last week, and we went through each one of his television commercials point by point, and there wasn't a single true word in any of them. I've never opposed, never in my entire life have I ever held that position. Abortion is not an issue in Maryland. It's been decided by the voters in 1992 with a referendum. There's nothing to do with abortion on the books in Maryland. I mean, it's settled law. Nothing would change regardless of whether I was governor or Anthony Brown was governor. But if they're so desperate, they can't talk about the real issues.
Mm-hmm. Well,
and so it's really sad. I mean, I think it represents everything that's wrong with politics, and I think it's the reason why so many people are so frustrated with politics as usual, and they're fed up with politicians and politics, and it's one of the reasons I got in this race. We really needed a change of direction, but we need to be talking about the real issues in Maryland and the fact that we've lost so many businesses, jobs, and taxpayers, that we've crushed our economy. And Anthony Brown has a failed record over the past 8 years that he's unwilling and unable to defend, so he just resorts to slandering and defaming me. And quite frankly, if he were just a private citizen, we would have already sued him for slander and libel. But, as a politician, he can lie and get away with it. The stations are required to put these lies on the air. They know they're false. Multiple fact checkers have talked about it. Many columnists and different news outlets have slammed him for these false ads, but they continue to double down and run more of them. And in fact, they started new ones yesterday. They got even worse.
All right. Look, this is one of the reasons why I never, ever, ever contemplated, ever thinking about going into the world of politics, because I look at this and say, look.
You'd be great at it.
No, I would not, for many reasons. But I mean, they can say anything in the world about you, and then you're on the defensive. How do you answer this? How do you get your message through? Are you able to respond in a way that people are actually hearing?
Well, it's difficult. It's very difficult because, we in this race, amazingly, we've been outspent nearly 15-1. And in spite of that, 5 recent polls have us down to low single digits. The most recent one has us within the statistical margin of error in a state that's 2-1 Democrat. So we have a great message that people are responding to. But, he spent $14 million in special interest money, slamming me with these lies. And unfortunately, if you continue to repeat a lie often enough, some people start to believe it.
Larry Hogan,
our latest polls show that it's actually hurt him and has not hurt us.
You keep mentioning
aren't buying it. They're just kind of disgusted by it, and they want to change the channel every time they come on.
Help me out here, because the last poll I'm seeing it's now, in all honesty, it's the first week of September, this poll, but it's a CBS News poll, and it shows Brown up by 14. So what polls are you talking about?
The CBS poll was not a real poll, and that's been slammed by Politico and a number of other news outlets. It was just an online survey kind of thing where people went in to vote. There was no scientific.
All right.
It was a poll of liberal Democrats who happened to go on their computer that day.
Thank you for correcting the record. What poll are you talking about that shows you in a dead heat? I can't find it.
Well, there are 5 different recent polls that had us down to 6, 5, 4, 3 different points. The 2 of them were our internal poll showed it 4 or 5 points. We just did one within the past week, but there was one done by a respected national pollster that was paid for by the Republican Party, and that came out. It was down to 3 points and a 4.5% margin of error.
All right. I just wanted to know for sure because I needed to be.
Well, let's put it this way: if Brown did not think that he was in real trouble, he wouldn't be spending millions of dollars turning me into Satan.
I agree.
If you look at the Democratic primary, if you remember back, he was running against Doug Gansler and Heather Mazier. He never went negative.
Right.
It was positive spots about his military service and whatnot, and these are the worst, most vile, most dishonest ads I've ever seen. They're obviously panicked and in complete meltdown over there in the Brown campaign.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he's throwing every name in the book at you. Listen to this one.
Larry Hogan's dangerous Republican agenda? The wrong direction for Maryland.
You're a dangerous Republican, Larry Hogan.
You know, I don't feel that dangerous. And most of my friends don't think I'm dangerous, but it's really so over the top. It's almost it is laughable.
It really is.
But,
That's why we're having fun
to give
with
him
it.
more airtime.
Oh no! Listen, we're in our context. Trust me, we're mocking it. Listen, another dangerous Republican was in town last week, Chris Christie, and he helped you raise close to $500,000. That was a heck of a successful fundraiser there. What did you think of Chris Christie, and are you happy to have him on your side here?
Well, I think the world of Governor Christie. He's a terrific guy, and we had a great time together. And I was honored to have him come in to help us with the campaign. He's a great leader of the party, and he's the chairman of the Republican Governors Association. So this has become a national race. I mean, a couple of months ago, no one would have ever expected that deep blue Maryland would be in play, but. Chris Christie said that I'm in exactly the same position he was in 2009 when nobody believed he could win in New Jersey, which is just like Maryland.
That's right, Larry Hogan. That's why I raised it. The combination of this over-the-top negative ad from Anthony Brown and the fact that the Republican Governors Association is throwing money your way, this is a race going down to the finish.
One to watch.
Thanks for joining us, Larry Hogan. Always good to have you.
Thank you so much.